So Cloaked's pitch is we want to enable users to take back control of their data. And that starts with essentially cleaning up your past and then protecting your future.
Talk a bit more about what Cloaked does, how do you make money? What is the actual product?
One is we have this data removal product. Essentially remove your data from 140 of the biggest data brokers in the US. The second part of the product, which is actually the cool part of the product, is an aliases feature, which is essentially Cloaked gives you unlimited real working emails and phone numbers that stand in place of your personal email and your personal phone number.
So the audience that you're after and then the messaging, can you talk us through, how that's evolved over the history of the company?
And we wanted to use that as an inspiration to build an experience where people can, how critical their phone number is in terms of their personal information. With just your phone number, we can surface your SSN, your home address, information about your family members.
Hey everyone, and thanks for listening. Today we're speaking with Pulkit Gupta, head of marketing at Cloaked. Pulkit, how are you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm going to start this interview in a very weird way. I'm going to ask you to give me a certain phone number. I've not called this phone number myself, but if you want to go ahead and give me this number, I'll type it in.
Yeah. So you can call 855-752-5625.
Hello, Brett Stepper. This is a secure line with Cloaked.com, and here is the information we have found publicly on you. Your social security number begins.
What the hell? What's happening there, man?
Yeah. So this is let me sort of tell you a story. Essentially, we used to we used to talk a lot about features and what Cloaked solves for. But then we realized we wanted to make the problem very personal and apparent to potential users. So we built this hotline experience. Fun fact: my founder essentially spun this up with one sort of a night work of coding. So we were inspired by this other AI product that has this hotline where you can call in and sort of get an experience of how an AI sales chatbot would feel like. So that was the inspiration. And we wanted to sort of use that as an inspiration to build an experience where people can understand how critical their phone number is in terms of their personal information. So our objective was, with just your phone number, we can surface your SSN, your home address, information about your family members. Essentially, every critical person PII about you can be pulled from just your phone number, and it's all from publicly available data. So what we just did there was we took your phone number, scanned the visible internet for your PII, just with just linked to your phone number, and that's why you were able to hear that, hey, with just a phone number, we pulled your name, and we were about to surface your SSN as well.
We kept that one off the podcast, but I guess it doesn't matter. The information is out there. I mean, what incredible marketing, though, right? Just to validate the problem. It's terrifying. I remember the first time I did that, when you guys first launched this, I was like, oh my God, that is absolutely horrifying. And everyone I've said that to, they've had the same interaction. So just have to say, incredible marketing.
It's a good marketing tool. It's a good sales tool, but it's also, from my POV, it's a fantastic education tool that we're trying to get in front of as many Americans as possible. Just for context, we did a flyby at South by Southwest where we had a plane with this phone number go around the venue at South by Southwest in Austin earlier this year. We've done Times Square campaigns with this hotline. We have gotten coverage in multiple podcasts with this hotline as well. So we've been trying to get this hotline in front of as many Americans as possible, so they are able to see what data we can pull from just their phone number.
I love good marketing, and it's just outstanding marketing. And like you said, it extends beyond that, right? It's an education piece because it's a wake up call. I remember doing it, and I'm pretty careful. I would say on the scale, I'm pretty careful, but apparently not not careful enough. Now, let's maybe take this chance to talk a bit more about what Cloaked does. How do you make money? What is the actual product? So I think we're probably pretty clear on the problem here now.
Yeah. So we solve for two big problem themes. One is annoyance of spam, but the other sort of bigger, more apparent problem is spam is because your data is out there, your data is exposed, it's available. It's available with data brokers. It's available to bad actors, spammers, scammers, hackers, people who are essentially looking to who put you at high risk of identity theft and financial fraud. So that's the second big problem theme. Mm-hmm. Those are the two things we want to solve for. But those are both symptoms of your data being out there. So Cloaked's pitch is we want to enable users to take back control of their data. And that starts with essentially cleaning up your past and then protecting your future. So we have a 3-part solution. One is we have this data removal product. So we essentially remove your data from 140 of the biggest data brokers in the US. The second part of the product, which is actually the cool part of the product, is an aliases feature, which is essentially Cloaked gives you unlimited real working emails and phone numbers that stand in place of your personal email and your personal phone number. So every time you're signing up, say for example for a loyalty program or a marketing newsletter, instead of dropping your personal email and a personal phone, use Cloaked email, Cloaked phone. You get all of the communication. You have all of the controls, so you can lock the identity, is what we call it. You can set up forwarding. You can get calls and messages as normal. But the other party does not have your personal email and personal phone number. So if you're interacting with businesses, you have the chance that, say for example, they get breached.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, what will end up in the breach data set is a cloaked email and a cloaked phone number. What it also does is it is a concept called data poisoning, which is we're poisoning the well by attaching up. Say, for example, I have 100 cloaked numbers. Now, Pulkit Gupta is attached to 100 different phone numbers instead of that one phone number like Brett was, because that's so essentially we're poisoning the well with so many phone numbers and so many emails about you. So it becomes tougher for these brokers and these bad actors to identify which number is your number and which number isn't. The third part of the product is a peace of mind offering. So essentially, if anything does fall through the cracks, we have our users covered up to $1 million in identity theft insurance. So that's more of a peace of mind. Hey, just in case, because you have all of this data out there, it's a process. It takes a bit of time for your footprint to start coming down and the sort of spam calls to start coming down as well. In addition to that, we now built an immediate solution to spam as well. So we have this product called AI Call Guard, which essentially is an AI agent that sits between you and an unidentified caller. So essentially what it will do is it will have a conversation in real time with, say, for example, you're getting a spam call. It will have a conversation with the caller, identify the motive, identify the context, and then forward if the context and the motive essentially feels legit, it will essentially connect the call. And then we're also coming up with a bunch of AI features around data removal, around auto cloaking, auto rotating, breached passwords, breached emails as well. So that's the offering in a nutshell.
I'm jealous of you, man. What a fun product to be building and be marketing. I feel like that must be very fun. A lot of marketers listening in must have a sense of jealousy there with what an awesome product. And mainly, it's just a massive problem that everyone's dealing with. Now, I'll ask for some like personal advice. Like, so what do I do now? Do I just need like a new phone number? Do I start from scratch and like get a new phone number and never put it into another business? Like, can we poison the well enough so that like this number is still safe? Like, what do we do? What do I do from here?
First things, I would recommend signing up for Cloaked. But yeah, I think the way, and this is what Arjun talks about on public platforms as well. The way to go about life is not being sort of afraid to share your information. It's just there are tons and tons of businesses and relationships where you don't need to give out your numbers. For example, you land on an e-commerce website. They want to give you a 10% coupon. They ask for your phone number and your email. That's an unnecessary transaction. So I would say you can bring your data footprint down by being very conscious of what data you're sharing, and B, of course, data removal services help to bring down your existing footprint. But it's not very effective until you stop giving out your phone number for each transaction, and that's where our aliases product comes in. And that's the sort of the cool part about the product is there are a bunch of products that offer aliases. There are a bunch of products that offer data removal. There are a bunch of products that separately offer like a call guard, screener, etc. There are VPN products, password managers. We've sort of built an all-in-one product that essentially with just one Cloaked subscription, you can sort of have all of the pieces about your identity protected and safe in one place.
Let's talk a little bit about just the audience that you're after and then the messaging. Can you talk us through, how that's evolved over the history of the company?
Yeah. So just for context, we were founded 2021, and then up until October of 2023, we were building the product with around 4,000, 5,000 beta users. And October 2023 is essentially when we went GA. So we launched to the general market. We launched with a $10 a month subscription price. Then over time, we've of course experimented, A/B tested with the pricing as well. But essentially, October 2023 is when we launched for general audience. And our initial pitch was, oh, this is a privacy product that helps you take back control of your data. The initial audience as well was tech enthusiasts, privacy conscious, middle-aged, predominantly male, uh, people who essentially already use, say, for example, a VPN product, people who use a password manager. So our pitch was Cloak helps you round out your privacy tool stack. Um, and initially, it was and we used to talk a lot about cloaked emails and cloaked phone numbers. So we were very feature based, rooted in features in terms of how we were messaging. For a couple of months, we struggled to establish product market fit because it didn't translate well to across platforms. So we used to find good resonance within privacy conscious communities, like, say, for example, the Brave browser. We used to very actively manage a Discord community as well. But beyond a point in time to scale up, we realized we had to have a slightly more democratic messaging because we want to build a brand that goes beyond the sort of the privacy community niche and build something for Americans in general. And that's when we sort of started to transition to a more problem-based messaging. So we realized we needed to build a category by starting to talk about the problem itself, which is data exposure. And data exposure is something that to explain it to someone, you need to tell them about the symptoms. So spam is a symptom of data exposure. The fear of financial fraud is a symptom of data exposure. Phishing attempts, someone trying to log into your Google account at 2 a.m. in the night is a symptom of your data being out there. So we started to talk a lot about the problems. So we pivoted from feature-based messaging to problem-based messaging, and we essentially, not instantly, but over 2-3 months, we started to find a good traction with people who said, yeah, I feel this problem. I feel like I need a solution for this. And I believe Cloaked is offering the right thing as a solution for the problem of spam and fear of financial fraud. We also built this tool. Essentially, you can try it out on cloaked.com. We have this field where you can put in your phone number, and it would essentially do the same thing that the hotline does. Basically, surface all publicly available information that you can pull with just your phone number. So I think that's when we started to see good traction and establish PMF. We were also able to translate this well into a 15, 30-second vertical UGC style videos. That's what has kept us going for the last year on platforms like Meta and TikTok. We have a bunch of UGC style videos where essentially a creator would say, oh, I get tons and tons of spam. This Boxpad data is out there. If you're facing the same problem, Cloak has a solution for you. So that's the journey from more features and moving on to something that talks a lot more about problem. And now we've seen traction within a persona that is we're seeing traction amongst older users who are at higher risk of higher exposure to spam and higher risk of financial fraud. And we are seeing sort of more gender parity. So we're onboarding teachers, accountants, like general Americans now onto the product.
I see. And can you share, I'll just thought of a different question. Can you unpack that influencer program for us a little bit? Those folks that you're working with, are you bringing them on and then they're just pumping it out through your channel, or do they have an existing audience? Because I see brands do both. Like there's those agencies where you can hire people to do UGC content, but they have no audience. So what's that look like for you?
We have a mix of both. So we instead of going after bigger influencers, we've onboarded micro influencers across various age categories, and we have a ton of diversity within our creator network, and it's because we don't need them to be. We want the messaging to be as simplified as possible. Essentially, what I try to do is get every creator a Cloaked account, have them use the product for a month to get a feel for the product, and then they start talking about how their spam footprint went down, how they see their exposure numbers sort of go down as well. So that's why each piece of creative we put out essentially is more or less a personal story of how a creator had this problem and then how Cloaked was able to solve the problem for them. This also makes an active feedback loop for us, in the sense a lot of creators reach out, hey, this feels a little off. This I'm sort of going through this flow and I'm not able to see the data exposure number because I was recording a video. So we've also very actively get some product feedback from a bunch of creators as well.
What about AI? So we have to at least bring up AI one time in this conversation. How are you using AI in the marketing mix here?
I think talking about performance, we've been trying to figure out what parts of content we can do with AI. So, for example, UGC style videos where essentially I want the audience to connect with this creator. I don't believe uh, generative AI avatars can do that job, and that's why we've sort of consciously stayed away from doing that. Uh, on videos, one of the things that we've identified as as a good use case is we are using it in editing workflows. So, for example, we have a bunch of creators more or less follow a similar spiel where they would talk about the problem of spam and how that is because your data is out there. So, what we've done is we built a bank of animations and a bank of stock footage that are tagged very neatly to if someone talks about data brokers, have this on the screen. So essentially, what we can now do is get essentially for footage from our creators, run it through an editing model, and then it essentially very neatly tags onto each 5 second, 10 second mark. It will tag on product shots and some stock footage. So now our editing workflows have become much tighter and much quicker. On statics as well, we're doing a bunch of inciting using. So what we do is we'll A/B test 300, 400 static images that are AI generated, but then we use them just to surface insights that we can funnel up to our content creators. So, for example, one of the insights we discovered was a lot of people wanted uh, so, so spam to them felt like noise, and silencing spam was a theme that we found that a lot of people resonated with through one of our AI generated static ads. So the static ads are meant to spend by themselves, but they are meant to give us insights on, oh, this is a theme that resonates. Can we now convert this into a high quality UGC style video that we'll spend $1,000 to $2,000 on? But the insight has been surfaced from these 300, 400 creatives that we generated in mass using AI.
I see. Interesting. What about the marketing team? What does the marketing team look like?
So I've had a chat with product managers PMMs who have sort of 15-member, 20-member marketing team, and they don't rely on agencies as much. We've sort of gone with the other thesis. We've always been lean, so we are a 2-member team. I have me and a product marketing manager, sort of performance marketing manager, managing the entire marketing stack. And we have a bunch of agencies who assist us on content, on creators, on SEO, on PR. So yeah, we've stayed lean very, very consciously.
How do you find good agencies? That's always been a trouble for me. Most of them suck.
So it helps to be. So we have we are fortunate enough to have a good array of investors in our business, and that's why we're all just plugged into sort of the marketing network across our investor network. So I've had a bunch of our investors sort of think, hey, this is these tactics are working, these strategies are working, these agencies are working for our portfolio companies, and that's how we've sort of built our current agency stack. Is a lot of good word of mouth, a lot of good referrals, and then just good old scouting and putting out briefs and getting agencies to pitch. And mix of all three essentially has led to us sort of arriving at a good optimum marketing stack.
And final question for you. This is the future of consumer marketing. So we, of course, have to ask you, what's the future of consumer marketing?
I think this is an inflection point for a bunch of marketers in understanding where to draw the line between AI slop and actual creative content that you can still scale and experiment with. I think eventually a lot of these AI tools, AI best practices would be baked into ad platforms themselves. I think Meta is sort of to a certain extent trying to build in some of the analytics tools. Google is surfacing some of the insights as well. But I think eventually the future, 10 years from now, I don't think it will take 10 years, but I think have a creative, have a messaging, have a positioning strategy that works for each potential user, each potential audience member that you surface a creative to. I think we are trying to get there by sort of going up on our varianting and going down on our segment size. But eventually, I think the future of marketing is an ad that works for each potential consumer and works best for them to convert them.
Amazing. I love it. All right, my friend, we're going to wrap here. Before we do, if anyone's listening in that wants to follow along with you, where should we send them? And then, where should we send them if they just want to play around with the product?
Yeah, so Cloaked.com is our website. We are on the App Store. We are on the Chrome Web Store. We are on the Play Store as well. If you want to try out the product, try out the scan, our hotline is 855-752-5625. And I'm on Pulkit at Cloaked.id. We are based out of New York. We are in the Union Square 14th Street area. So if anyone wants to sort of hit me up, you can find me on LinkedIn as well.
Amazing. All right, man. I love it. Thanks so much for joining.
Thanks for having me, Brett.